Hello, I'm Z-Helene, and today's class is about finger cymbals, also known as Zills or sagats, and emotional expression. A lot of people just play Zills for, accompaniment to the music, and that's fine. Sometimes it's in sync with a lot of other people. But I'm specifically talking about more unique expressions of finger cymbals that will really showcase more dimensions of your own personality and your personal expression. So I'm going to give you a little history of myself. I have a theater background, theater and psychology from Franklin and Marshall College. I graduated in 1977. And you do what you do when you have a theater degree. I moved to LA, and when I moved there in 1977, I studied comedy improvisation and belly dancing. I did them full out together. So I've always connected emotional expression with finger cymbals. I learned to play finger cymbals while I was in college when I took my first class in Lancaster, Pennsylvania in 1977, the beginning of 77. And I remember just really loving the finger cymbals right from the very start. I loved them. And I'd go to the music room and practice. And at that point I was told I only had to go like right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. And I did that even though I'm left-handed. I still did that. And then when I went to California, it was a little more free. When I studied in Los Angeles, they were more free with the finger cymbals. And I'm like, oh, you could go left, right, left, right, left, right. It was definitely more interesting and more intricate. But it still wasn't where I learned how to actually put the finger cymbals and the emotions together. But the comedy improv really, along with my theater background, really helped to develop that sort of ability, I guess you could say, and the notion that I could use the finger cymbals to be much more than just sort of a musical accompaniment. Okay, so that's kind of how I got started. And I remember I moved back to Pennsylvania in 1979, and I kept my belly dancing going and my theater going. And I remember one of my first performances is I wrote a whole script, and I was Cleopatra, and I was carried in by hunking beautiful Lancaster farm boys dressed in little togas, and I did a theatrical performance of Cleopatra using my theater background, using my belly dancing and my finger cymbals. So that was the first time I actually kind of put it all together. So after that, I moved to Austin, Texas, on going on a trek, trying to find myself. I moved here with a friend, and it was in Austin that I really began to develop my Zills solos. Specifically, it's really funny when I think about it, because I never really, I don't think I've mentioned this ever in any of my interviews or anything, but I got here and I remember watching the Access TV, the Austin Community Access TV, and I remember seeing videos of Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I remember him playing his guitar. And I don't know if you know this, he unfortunately died in a helicopter crash early on. It was unfortunate, but he was so passionate with his guitar solos. Unbelievable. I remember seeing him one night. It was late one night. I was watching a little TV, and I remember seeing him, like, he was so emotive, and it wasn't pretty. He was really intense with his guitar, and I'm like, I wonder if I could do that with my finger cymbals. So that was the first time I actually thought to myself, I could actually play finger cymbals with a lot of emotion, like a guitar, rock and roll guitar guy, blues guitar guy can play with his guitar. And that's when I first started doing it. And shortly thereafter, I remember being asked to actually do a finger cymbal solo in a modern dancer show, which was really interesting. And that was the first time she put a spotlight on me, and she said, I just want you to play your finger cymbals. You're really good on them. Just play them. And that was the first time I was actually featured. And that was in the early 80s sometime. Since then, I've developed that skill of doing different themes with my finger cymbals, or maybe going through different set of emotions. I remember people would come up to me, and one person said, you play your Zills like Buddy Rich. And at that time, I didn't know who Buddy Rich was. He was apparently a drummer, I think from the 60s or something like that, 60s or 70s. And I looked him up, and I'm like, wow, okay. And he was a trap set player. And other people told me, you're the Jimi Hendrix of Zills, So I started getting sort of compared to these musicians, mostly male, all male, who could do really emotive things with their instruments. And in the case of Jimi Hendrix, it was just like playing the guitar left-handed behind his head, that kind of thing. So that just really gave me that permission, I guess, to not feel boxed in by Zills, that this is the correct way, you must play right, left, right, left, right, or right, left, right, left, or, everyone's got their rules, and there's nothing wrong with the rules. The rules are there to sort of get you started and get you going with it, and get you so that you have good timing, because what's the one thing you want to be on the beat. You want to have good timing and be on the beat. Or if you're going to be off the beat, you're doing counter time or something that's purposely off the beat, which is great. You want to be able to do that. But the idea, you don't want to muck around. Sort of, I think if it's the one thing that just always bothers me with Zills, if dancers are trying to play along with the beat and they're always either before it or behind it, or they're sloppy with it. So that brings me to the idea that you definitely need to do drills. You want your hands to be responsive to your mind. You want to be able to play what your head is thinking, or what your emotions are wanting to express. And you want that to be with a good sense of rhythm and timing and syncopation and different variations that don't stray and get mishmashy like a soupy salad with the rhythm. So that's why really drills are so absolutely important to do with them. And I also use, believe it or not, Zills to meditate with. Sometimes I'll just do a drill. I might use a metronome, and just get into a groove with it, and just allow myself to just go deeper and deeper into it without too much mental control. And so that I'm staying, like I might give myself a task to stay with the beat, and to just play singles, da 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 da, whatever that is, and just go deep into it, and it clears my mind. And a lot of times, if I'm moving with it when I do it, I will sometimes close my eyes. So I will do very mental left brain kind of analytical drills, and then some right brain more meditative ones. So that's all part of what my practice has been. Now, I know that on my YouTube channel, I have a bunch of examples of me doing different Zills solos. There's so many that I've done through the years, and I'll use the same riffs. Sometimes I'll say, before I do a Zills solo, I'm gonna do this riff, and this riff, and I'm gonna get in. The way I get in and out of it, I'm gonna do it improvisationally, and so I have a lot of examples of that on the Z-Helene Christopher YouTube channel, so you can always just look at some of those to give yourself some ideas. For a while there, I was doing 20-second Zill thrills, where I was just doing little short snippet ones, and I have compiled those together on my YouTube channel as well. So how do we get into our feelings? Well, so much of this is theatrical. You definitely, if you're doing an expressive Zill solo, you don't want your face to be just frozen in the happy little belly dancer face. You want to be able to authentically move between these different emotions. So that's what's really important. And having a theater background helps, but you can also just dive deep into yourself. I know a lot of dance teachers talk about the emotional component of the music. And it's the same thing. It's like you want to feel it inside of yourself and make it as express it as authentically as possible. Sometimes you have to fake it till you make it, like you're not quite feeling something, but you know that if you play a certain pattern, it's going to make you feel that way. So it kind of works both ways. Or sometimes the emotion will give you a new riff or a new pattern that you might want to do. You can go from the pattern to the emotion, or the emotion to the pattern, if that makes any sense. You don't have to worry about that right now. But one thing I do want to start with right here is something from yoga, since I have a lot of training in yoga, that I find is really good for expressing and releasing a lot of frozenness in the face and the hands. And it's something called the lion's breath. And I'm going to do a kind of an adaptive version of it right here with you. We're going to do it 5 times, and you might think it's kind of goofy, a little goofy, but no one's watching you and you're watching me. So there you go. So you're going to squeeze everything in. I mean, your legs, your pelvic floor, your abdominals, your chest, your hands, everything, your face, everything crunches in. You go like this. And then when you release it, you're going to expand it all out, and you're going to let your tongue and your eyes pop open out. So it looks like this. Okay, so you squeeze it all in, and when you open out, like you breathe in, and squeeze, 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 exhale, and express it all out. And you let those fingers fly out, let your face open, and don't forget your tongue. Let your tongue out like all the way out, okay? And eyes get real big. We're gonna do this 5 times. So just do it along with me and have a good time with it. And if there's anyone at home with you while you're doing this, you might want to warn them first that there's going to be a weird noise happening in the other room. All right, you ready? So breathe in, squeeze. Again, squeeze. 3 more times. Last one, let it come deep from within that noise. So you don't want the sound to come from your throat. You want it to come from deep in your lower belly. Let's do it one more time, deep in the lower belly. And what I always like to say is, imagine you're walking down the street and somebody's trying to mug you. And what you're going to do is you're going to turn around and you're going to give them this breath, okay? You're going to scare them with this. You ready? The deep inner sound. Last time, ready in. Woo! Okay, and now make any noise you want. Make some funny faces. Another thing I like to do is make myself laugh. Get your tongue going. Get your emotions going. Let your shoulders shake. Get yourself going. I'm not going to be moving a whole lot today. You can move around your room if you want. I'm just going to stay here in front of the camera. All right, you ready? Okay, so now that you're opened up, you got some juices going through your body, maybe a couple of sitting cat-cows or standing cat-cows where we're contracting and expanding. You might want to take a roll down to the floor. Make sure you're warmed up. And this is just going to be your own exploration. We're going to do an emotional exploration without finger cymbals. And we're going to do it, I picked a very kind of generic, nice Saidi rhythm in the background. And I'm going to talk you through a few of these different emotions, okay? So just like I said, you can do it sitting, you can do it standing, you can do it moving around, however you want to do it. So let me get my music on here. Hopefully this will be loud enough. All right, so you might want to start by moving around, or you can even close your eyes sitting and find that neutral place within you. All right, it's a very neutral, easy place that you're at. And I call this danza nobla. meaning it's your joyful anticipation. You're not like fully expressing. You're at this sort of base place of being happy or having a joyful anticipation of dancing. So just kind of find where that's at. If you're moving around the room, just allow yourself to just do that. Gentle opening up, maybe moving your arms, working the energy around you, your space. Taking some nice deep breaths, filling yourself up with your breath, because as we know, especially with rhythm, the breath is so important, so important. You don't want to hold your breath unless you intentionally are holding it for dramatic purposes. So as we move from this sort of kind of neutral with a little bit of joy, so like just a little bit of happiness, a little bit of joy, neutral, danse noble, joyful anticipation. We're going to work with the first emotion of just plain happy, okay? The music's going to stay the same, so just use it as background. I want you to, for a moment here, close your eyes and just think happy. Where does happy live inside of you? And at any point you can open your eyes. Where is happiness inside of you? Is there a memory that you can think of or that comes to mind of being happy? It doesn't have to be, this is not like over the top happy. This is just you're waking up in the morning, you're having a good day. It's a good day. So what does that feel like? And I'm going to do a little dance here. What does it feel like just to be happy? What kind of movement does your body want to do when you're happy? Life is going pretty well. Your pains and sorrows and woes are kind of put to the side and you're just, it's good. You've got a good day ahead, or you've just had a good day. Things feel good. What place in your body, or it could be more than one place, but what place does happiness come from? A lot of emotions do come from the heart area, but you may find that there's a movement you do that's deep in your hip that shows that you're happy. So you can have different origins of your happy place. What moves that you already know make you happy? That if you dance these moves, it'll put you in a good mood. And by the same token, when you're feeling it, what moves can you discover that make you feel happy? And specifically now, let your face reveal it. Let your breath be happy. And for right now, make a sound if you want. A happy sound. And now we're going to go back to our neutral, more joyful, quiet, joyful anticipation. And we're going to move to another emotion, sadness. moving from happy to sadness. Now, close your eyes for a moment. Maybe a memory will trigger it. Maybe I know this, I hope it doesn't bother you, but maybe like the death of a pet or of a loved one or a missed opportunity, something that, or sad health news or whatever, something that is sad. Where inside of you is that sadness? Where does it come from? It might be in a certain place. For me, it's different for everyone, and I feel it in my forehead, believe it or not. So now allow yourself to express that sadness. Allow yourself to express it. And if it feels stupid or funny, it's okay. Fake it till you make it. Like, pretend to be as sad. But it's better to have it authentic. People sense that. But sometimes you have to work backwards with it. So you might go, I'm sad. But then when you work with the feeling, it comes from a deeper place. Is there a gesture in our emotion? Or is there a movement that expresses that sadness? Let your face express it. Let your eyes express it. Let your mouth express it. Take your time. And now, let's come back to that neutral, joyful anticipation. Just to kind of clean the palate, like a little sherbet in between courses. And we'll go to a third emotion. Anger. Anger. You might want to close your eyes or not, but what has pissed you off? What makes you just so angry? Could be politics. Could be your boyfriend or your husband or your girlfriend or your whatever. Traffic. Anger. Once again, fake it till you make it, or work from the inside out or from the outside in. Oh, what are those movements? What do you want to do when you're angry? What kind of muscle tension are you using? What sound do you make with it? Ha! Ha! Ah! What is your mouth doing? What are your eyes doing? Where in your body does your anger come from? Where are you feeling it? What movement can you emote from there? Can you create from there? Doesn't have to be pretty. In fact, anger is usually not very pretty. And now let's come back to our neutral, joyful anticipation. Clean that palate again, wipe that away, shake it off. And we're gonna go to a meditative, calm place. You're not kind of along the lines of that joyful anticipation, but that it's sort of a peacefulness, something where you're at peace. Maybe you have a memory. Think about a peaceful time. Are you sitting by a river or a lake or the ocean or in a forest? Are you listening to sounds of nature? Have you just had a couple of glasses of wine? Feeling very peaceful and calm. And allow that to move through you. How's your breath here? Is there sound? For me, my peaceful place is in my hot tub, in my swimming pool, floating. What movements express that peacefulness? And now come back. We have one final one to do. Ecstasy. Ecstatic. Ooh, where's that coming from? So once you've come from your joyful anticipation mode, let's move into ecstasy. You've won something. You've met someone who's incredible. What is your memory? What's an ecstatic memory that you have? What can you conjure up inside yourself when things were just, so great? You just did a fabulous performance. It was incredible. People loved it. And you were getting genuine compliments. Oh my God. What is that like? Where is that coming from? How does that make you breathe? How does it make your face look? What do you like when you're ecstatic? Your favorite lover. Your favorite, most delicious dessert. Ecstasy. Where is that movement? What are you doing for that movement? Oh no. Where in your body is your ecstasy coming from? It could be more than one place. Yes. Take a nice deep breath. Another one. And find that neutral, joyful anticipation. Go ahead and get your Zills on. We're going to do that again, but this time with finger cymbals. And for a little bit shorter, I want you to explore those feelings you just had with the finger cymbals. So I'm putting mine on. I'm not going to play a lot because I want you to find your own way to do it, and I don't want you to be influenced by what I'm playing on my Zills. But I'll do a little example because we're going to go through those emotions: happy, sad, angry, meditative / peaceful, and then ecstatic. And like I said, I'm going to be sitting here the whole time. But you can move around. So before we do anything, let's go ahead and let's just warm them up for just a little bit. I'm just doing singles here. Let's go ahead and warm them up a little bit. And that's basic, just hitting it straight on, or I call regulars. And then everyone has different names for this. I call this a click. Putting the two together, you can do it with the fingers released on top or them together. Just play singles. Make sure you do some hand circles so you don't have stiff hands while you do this. You want to have fluid wrists. And then some rings, just releasing everything, just hitting the rims together on rings. Can you move your hands in a circle with the rings? And then clacks. Thumbs down, smacking them together. So there are many, 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 many drills that we could do, but I just wanted to get your hands a little bit more warmed up with them. So I'm going to put that music back on, and I want you to go, we're going to do a shorter version of these emotions, going through them. And then I'm going to turn the music off, and we're going to do them again without the music, just the zills and your face. So remember to use your expression, your face, your breath, and everything with them, especially when you're doing zills alone. Okay, you ready for this? Let's just do that. So, find that joyful anticipation, kind of a neutral. And we're going to move into happy. I'm just going to play it for a little bit. All right, move into happy. Keep going with the happy. Let your zills be an extension of your feelings. Don't judge it. Even if it comes out a little weird, don't judge it. Okay, let's move on to sad. Find your neutral. And now let's go into sad. Use your face with it. Keep going. Sad. And coming back to your neutral again. We're going to move into angry. Keep going, angry. Keep playing them. Where's your anger? How do you want to play your zills with anger? Where's that feeling coming from? Let your face express it as well as your zills. All right, let that go. Come back to neutral. Calm, meditative, peaceful. Keep going with your zills. Where are you feeling that peaceful, meditative, calm place? How do you want to play your zills? What are your eyes doing? What's your face doing? What's your breath doing? Come back to that neutral place. Last one, ecstasy. Keep going, ecstasy. Where is it? How does it make you feel? How does it make you play? What does it make you do? And come back to your neutral place again. Great. I hope that was kind of fun for you. So, hopefully that was an eye-opener. And this is going to be short again, maybe no more than 45 seconds with each emotion. But I want, and I'm going to have you do it all. I might do the first 10 seconds, but then I want you to do the rest, okay? We're going to go happy, sad, angry, meditative / calm, peaceful, and then ecstasy, okay? So this is just with your zills and your movement and your face. So let's start with happy. Keep going. And now we're going to slide into sad. Keep going. Let's just slide into angry. Keep going. Now we're going to slide into meditative, calm, peace. Keep going. And lastly, we'll slide right into ecstasy. Keep going. Great. And now let's bring it right back to neutral, joyful anticipation. And I think that's a great way to end this class. And I hope you've enjoyed it and have learned something and can use this video over and over again. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.